Welcome to another Baby Theater. Today, we're going to talk about Jeffrey, the Ghost Boy. There was one day that it seemed like every other day, but it was kind of strange because there was actually a small little spot in the sky. This was during the day. Sometimes you can see stars in the day. But this one in particular was pretty spotty. So, that's where Jeffrey came in. Jeffrey, he knew of the rumors that there would one day be a glimpse in the sky. Now, some might say, well, it is just a star. I mean, it's just kind of out there. It's going around. Stars are stars, And so that's good. Could happen. It's possible. It's a possibility. But, you see, Jeffrey knew different. You see, he died hundreds of years ago. But, before he died, he had a prophecy that there would be a glimmer in the sky, a little speck, that wasn't a star. But it was, as a matter of fact, a glitch. Now, some might say, how can you have a glitch in reality? This doesn't make sense. Well, Jeffrey knew that there was a glitch in reality, and it would happen far into the future. But now, here he was, ready to put it all on the line and try to come back to life. To see if he can figure it out. So, you see, Jeffrey, he ran around all of his areas trying to find what to do, where to go. You see, he was confined to 3 different areas. He was confined to a library, where he could not really speak very well, because obviously he had to be real quiet in the library, or he'd be in trouble. And Jeffrey actually didn't want to get in trouble. Now, there was his house, but you see, it had been condemned long ago and torn down, and now in its place was a small little dog park. So he could talk to dogs, but they didn't really understand him enough to tell people, to warn people that the glitch is here. And also, and what was the remedy for the glitch? That was the other thing. And Jeffrey actually didn't quite know the answer to that. He had a few theories, but we'll get back to that. Now, there was one place where it used to be where he went to work. And it was like a sawmill back in the day. But since then, all the trees have been chopped down, and really there were like a lot of different things going on. Well, hundreds of years later, now he's no longer, it's not a sawmill, no. It's a lake. Now, that's the only place that he can think of to go to try to whisper to anybody and try to figure out, who's going to help him out here. So, there was actually a boy out on a boat, and he was fishing, and he was actually deathly afraid of hooks, and he had this problem where every time he would cast, he would be like, "Whoa!" because he thought that a hook was going to catch him in the eye. Right? But it never did. Until one day, Jeffrey said, Hey, you in the boat fishing. And, of course, the boy was like, oh, got himself right in the eye. Ha! Yeah. And Jeffrey was like, oh, God. He kind of like looked around and kind of like, I'm going to go back to the beach. And, he left. And, and then he found this guy picking up trash. Now, that was what was kind of interesting about this guy picking up trash. He used to actually be like the biggest polluter in the world. He was actually CEO of Gunk Incorporated that would just dump gunk all over the planet. But now he turned a new leaf, he realized what he'd done was terrible, and he resigned from CEO, and he decided to pick up trash for a living. Well, really wasn't a living. He couldn't make a living, so he actually, is homeless. But he's still helping. He's still helping out the planet. So, but anyway, Jeffrey goes, "Hey, garbage man, you're picking up trash, man. Hey, dude, got a second?" And the garbage man was like, "What?" And he threw all his garbage all over the place. He fell down and threw all his garbage, flew everywhere. Again, dirtying up the planet. Just like his old ways. He said, "Oh no, I'm back to my old ways again." Sad. And then the police arrested him. Just because they are terrible people. Now, after he got out of jail, he ended up going right back to that CEO position. Because he was like, what's the point? I'm going to be dirtying up the planet either way. So it's kind of sad to see him go back. But he did. Now he's a very successful businessman. Oh. So, next thing you know, Jeffrey's trying to find another person, And lo and behold, time passes differently, okay, in Ghost World. A day can be like 100 years. In this case, the day was about 20 years, right? And the fisherman came back, and he was fishing again. He just got back. Just thought, oh man, I really need a fish. Like, that's what I need is to fish again. And the fisherman was like, "Hi, Lake. I remember, Lake, you whispered to me and made me catch an hook in the eye before. So I don't like that you had a lake like that. It's pretty messed up." And so the Jeffrey was like, "Oh, this is my chance," and he didn't recognize him, right? He should have recognized him because he lost the eye that day. He lost the eye that day. So it was one-eyed. It was one-eyed fisherman now, but he didn't recognize him. He said, "Hey, fisherman, hey," and he goes, of course, Jeffrey was thinking it was like the same day, So then what happened was the ghost man, the ghost man was like, Jeffrey was like, "Hey, can you help me out?" And by this time, the glitch was huge. It was like as big as the sun. And people were kind of like, "Oh man, NASA didn't have any answers there. We don't see a star up there." Nobody had any answers. No answers could be found, And so, yeah. So then, but he said, "Yeah, I'll help you out, boys." So I finally had the strength to come out here and try to fish again, because I knew Lake that he would talk back to me again. And it wasn't the lake, but it was close. It was close to the lake. So then, next thing you know, you've got. He says, "Well, hey, come to this dog park so we can talk." And the dog park. What are you talking about? He says, "Well, running water is kind of hard for me. I can't really get by. It's really struggling for me to even be here right now and whisper to you, right?" He said, "Okay." I said, "Okay, fine. I'll meet you at the dog park." So then Jeffrey went to the dog park and waited for this guy. It took him 10 years to ever make it up to the dog park. Just because he said, "Well, hearing voices, like, I need to see a psychiatrist, But he finally went to the dog park. And he stood around and he said, "Oh my goodness, What's happening? What's happening? Why can't I go to the dog park like a regular person and just listen to some random voices I heard and figure out if they really want me over there 10 years later? Now, at this point, it'd been a lot of years. So, the old man, the old fisherman was now just like the old man now. He's like one-eyed man. One-eyed man. That was actually his name. Now, one-eyed fisherman. That's what he went by. Because all the townspeople kind of went with it, and once they went with it, he was kind of like, all right, I guess I better go with it. I guess that's fine, whatever. So next thing you know, he finally goes, hey, what can I do to help you, Jeffrey? And Jeffrey's like, oh, thanks for coming, dude. Thanks for coming. All right, well, here's what I want to do. I want you to type in help.gg. Help.gg. What are you talking about? Type in. I don't even have a computer. No. In your brain. Jeff says, in your brain. Type it in. So, the old fisherman's like, I don't have a keyboard up there. It's not up there, But he starts to think about it. Thinking about it. Next thing you know, the glitch gets bigger and bigger. And Jeff goes, oh no, you have to type in. Go away, glitch. Check the CHK, DSK, and it sounded like a bunch of random letters to this dude. So he was like, /R. What? Old fisherman. He typed in CMD, and it brought up another command. Right? Guess what he typed in? CMD. Yeah. Well, I already said that, right? Well, and then, what happened after that? Ooh, the glitch gets bigger and bigger. Bigger and bigger. And Jeffrey says, please, you have to listen to me. You have to run the check disk. And then the old fisherman says, well, I guess I can't run the check disk. I don't know what that is. I've never heard of that. I just told you about it. CHK DSK/R. All of a sudden, the glitch got so big that it enveloped the world, put it in a little post-it note, emailed it to the all-seeing eye. New notification. All-seeing eye. New notification. All-seeing eye. He deleted his email. So the universe was just sitting in an email, ready to go. But guess what? Spam folder. Right in the spam folder. Then, 3-4 months later, empty spam folder. Universe is bloop, gone. Deleted. Permanently deleted. Permanently. So sad. If only he had listened. If only he had listened. If only he'd listened. Just for a second. All I had to type was a simple command line. Simple command line. Couldn't do it. Couldn't save the world. But, a story of Ghost Boy, Jeffrey.